Welcome to this test video, information sharing video on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, you join me here for some testing on the farm production pack. Some curiosities that piqued my interest when I was looking at the mod pack. Mod reviews, generally speaking, are looking at the mods, looking what's available, looking how they work. Often you'll get packs and things which then lend themselves to questions of what if, which then potentially leads on to further inquiry. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be looking at three different things technically. The sell points in the pack, if you haven't seen the mod review, the pack review, if I remember, I'll put a little card up to go and watch it, if you want to go and watch it, of course. But this is part of the sell points, and the sell points in the pack, this is the multi-vending machine, as it says bottom right, have daily things that need to be delivered. Now, I said in the mod review, I couldn't figure out why. Once I delivered them, which I have, normally they will sit there in white, all the things bottom right they're saying it requires, with an amount. So I've delivered all those things. So sugar beet, washed potatoes, milk and eggs, I've delivered. And it will now not let me deliver any more washed potatoes. It wouldn't let me put any more milk in, wouldn't let me put any more eggs or sugar beet. So I said, well, surely then that it ceases to be a sell point at that point. It just becomes a kind of gimmicky, a daily sales thing, but not really a sell point per se. Anyway, what I found curious about this as well, looking into it a little bit further, if we go into build mode and we go to our productions and go to our sell points, you'll see the various different sell points are here, and it lists all the things you can sell there. So if I go along to the multi-vending machine, which is the one I'm using here, it takes bread, milk, washed potato, sugar beet, potato and eggs. So okay, well maybe then it's the things that it's not requesting I can sell, but because it's requesting those, it's kind of stopping me from bringing anything else over. So I bought a pallet of bread. I think this is liftable bale. Yeah, liftable. If you bring it over, nothing happens. Everything else I've been getting from the liftable pallets pack, and it's working. So it's not even taking things that aren't required. I don't know. So my first part of my testing is going to be, I'm going to skip ahead till tomorrow. So once we go past midnight, I said in the video, my mod review, I was assuming that we would get a new list appear. Now that might disappear in an hour. It could disappear in 2 hours. It might need to wait till tomorrow for it to refresh and say, go, these are today's things it needs. So that's what I'm going to be checking on this portion of it. And my extrapolation from that will be, if it works on this vending machine, it will work on the small, the big, the multi, and the other sell points in there. That is an extrapolation, but I see no reason why not. Next part of my testing is the solar panels, because this has baffled me beyond belief. On my mod review, I was able to put 2 of these cleaning robots down. So what I've done, I've put 3 sections of panels down. Well, the questions I asked was, when I utilised this, used it like so, it doesn't go next to the one it's next to. It goes a distance away for some reason. I don't know why. And it only went about this far, cleaned all of that and kind of went back again. Didn't really go any further. So my query on that was, can you place multiple? So you have 1 for each strip. If you can only place 1, when these get dirty, and apparently these get dirty, that's the whole, they're supposed to get dirty and that's why you need a cleaning robot. If it cleans 1 set, will it clean all of them? So, first part of that, if I go into here and we go to our tools now, and I go to my solar panel robot, it's now saying, cannot be placed here. So it's not allowing me to place a second robot anywhere around these 3 sets of panels. So I'm assuming that one robot will clean, however it does it, those sets. So that led me on to then think, well, if we go to production, we go to our generators and we go to our extendables, our solar panels. If I stick another set in here, to a slightly bigger gap this time, do that there. Then I'm going to go back to my buildings. No, my buildings. There we go. Back to our tools, back to our robot there. So it allows me to place another one here over with this section, but it won't allow me to place another one over. Now that's... Oh, right, so can it be placed here? But now it's allowing it to be placed there. But it didn't before. That's interesting. Okay. Quite sure why. Anywhere around there it won't let me. So I'm assuming there's a sort of a zone around. How far away from these can I go before it says it can't be placed? There we go. So it obviously has a zone around the panels where you can place it, go too far, but it can't register any panels anymore. So I place this one. Let's just put it all about here. If we turn that one on, I'm assuming it's going to go to the back set of panels. I don't know, it might go to the front set of panels. It just all seems rather peculiar, but let's switch that on. Yeah, it's gone to the back panel. Okay. Now, Richard just messaged me. I mean, literally, as I was about to start recording, Richard messaged me and said, the solar panels do indeed get dirty, but it's not 24 hours in game. It's 24 hours. So what, how does the game know it's been 24 hours? I don't... so apparently, in real time, 24 hours. So if I skip ahead, apparently these won't get dirty. So I'm not sure how I'm going to test this, because it is really 24 hours. I've got to leave it an entire day before I can carry on with the rest of this testing video, which that seems absolutely ludicrous to me. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I've been told. So I'm going to speed up time, see if they get dirty. Nothing's showing up actually for... Because I thought you might get an indicator. It might sort of say when you've got the... make sure I've got it actually switched on. He says. Yeah, the field info. With field info on, normally you get information about everything. But it's not actually giving me any info. I thought it might say how dirty they were, which obviously would be quite handy. So yeah, that's a peculiar one. We'll see what happens with that. And as far as I can still tell, the robot only goes along one set of panels. We'll check that. The third part I'm going to be testing on here was this distribution center. I had a bit of a tinker around with it and a bit of a play on my mod review with it. Again, if you didn't watch that, if you bring pallets into these hazard marked areas and you go to the forklift point here and say start delivery of pallets by fork, if there's no pallets in there, it won't register them and it won't allow you to do anything. If I click on that and it says, do you want to deliver the pallets to the assigned places? Now, I did say on my mod review, I wondered whether or not you could use a trailer, in this case a curtain sider, which is kind of what it would be. This is what this would be for. If I back to curtain sider up to the doors and open the doors, it should bring me nice and level with here. Will it register the pallets on a curtain sider for it to operate? Now, the premise being this is a mini game within the distribution center. You can just bring your products and sell them. Those two end doors there, open the end doors, bring your products, sell them. But what this does, if I press OK, I'm extended testing on this. One part was, will this work? Which it seems to be registering there are pallets there. We'll check that in a minute. And in my mod review, it gave me 2 minutes for one pallet. It then gave me 4 minutes for two pallets. So my extrapolation from that is it'll be 2 minutes per pallet. So I've got 12 pallets on here. So I'm assuming, again, when I click on this to say OK, it's going to give me 24 minutes to take the pallets off that trailer and onto the racking. Now, one pallet, it gave me 1 point on the racking. Two pallets, it gave me 2 separate points on racking. I don't think it matters what goes to what racking, I hope. I'm curious to see, with 12 pallets, will it give me 24 minutes and will it give me 12 different locations on the racking for delivering the pallets? The forklift appears automatically. You don't have to have your own forklift truck here. So that we can test immediately. That's not a problem. So if I click on this now and click yes. Yep, 24 minutes. So 2 minutes per pallet. Now, I'm not necessarily going to start running these yet. I'm going to go along the sets of racking just to see. Got one delivery point there. Just one, I'm assuming. Right, so it doesn't put them all up at once. When you deliver one, it will come up It says at the bottom right, time left, delivered pallets 0 of 12. So once I deliver that first one, it will say 1 of 12, and I'm assuming it will put I'm not going to get all these done in this, but I was curious to see the time thing. That's answered that question. 2 minutes per pallet. So if you've gone absolutely bonkers and you've got loads, now the problem is you can only really do 1 pallet at a time because it will only register 1 pallet at a time on there. So let's pick that up. Like I said, I don't think it's going to matter which one I put where. Tell you what as well, this is a big forklift and there's not a lot of room between the racking. So let's put this one down. There you go. So that's saying 1 delivered. The question is though, where's the next one required? I don't know. The other thing as well is, because of you need a smaller forklift. If you are unloading from a lorry like this, getting onto the lorry is going to be quite tricky. No, it's not liking that. There we go. Because I think that's what it's designed to do. But that's a big forklift to fit on there. I suppose you should be able to get on there. I don't know where the second one is. So I'm assuming each one we deliver, like I say, this was what I wanted to test. I wanted to see where are they going to appear. They're not actually that easy to see. There you go, over the back corner. Because of the colour of the walls, it's not that easy to see. Putting these at an angle, you can get away with. So put that one down. 2 delivered. There you go. Next one. That's lucky. It's appeared next to me, so I know where that's going. So it doesn't matter what one goes where. You're just putting 1 pallet wherever it says. Once you put 1 down, because it's now showing top left, delivered 2 of 12 with my time left, and I continue on. If the time runs out, it automatically sells them for you. Once you've delivered them all yourself, you'll get paid. So at the end of the day, it's a sell point, a self-service sell point is what it is. It is a clever thing. I do like it as an idea. It wasn't really clear when the blog post was initially put out what it meant. It just showed a picture of a forklift, and I just assumed it was one of your, you've got 250, 500, 1,000 slots, and I thought it would distribute things for you, but it's not. It is a sell point, and it is something a bit different. I have to say, I don't mind pallet work, and because of this, as long as we don't have to bring multiple things to each of these, we'll be all right, because I'm not putting these on particularly neatly. It is being quite forgiving, I'm not going to lie. 3 of 12. Just looking to see if there's any points there. I think if the colour of the icon was different, I'm not quite sure, there's all sorts of colours. If you could see it easier, because I can't, have I missed it? There's got to be one somewhere. This is what's going to end up taking the time, is actually finding where it's got to go on the racking. Gosh, it reminds me of my youth. Worked in a sweet warehouse. I only ever operated the forklift once. I wasn't qualified to. But then, to be fair, it was a pretty dodgy place, I'm not going to lie. Not nefarious is the wrong word, but it wasn't, yeah. I don't know where this one's going, I can't. It's going to make this very difficult. The problem we've got is, if the point for delivery... Oh, there it is, back corner there. Yeah, it's not clear. There's not an option to change the colour of those. And there's not like an arrow indicator either. It's not like it's showing on the floor. If there was a thing that kind of lit up on the floor, a help thing, so you kind of got an idea of direction. I'm very conscious that my time is draining away. As is yours. So that's where I'm going to stop with that one. The time will just run out on that and it will automatically deliver them. But if you want to have a go at finding the locations on the shelves and doing your own sell point logistics, like I say, it's clever. I like it as an idea. It's brilliant. But not everyone likes doing pallet work, so... Right, that answered then. Those 2 questions answered. one pallet at a time. There you go, there's the next up there on the left. Saw that one a lot easier, and then you just continue till you've unloaded. I guess it does give you the forklift. I'm assuming, I suppose that's another thing we could test really. Do you need this forklift? Or could you have your own forklift in here? So even when you set it off, it will spawn this forklift, but you could use anything if you wanted to. So if you've got something that's a little bit nippier, or something you find easier for manoeuvring, maybe what I might do when the time's run out on this, I might go and get one pallet and bring my own forklift over, and that could be an additional test. I've skipped ahead to the very next day to check on our multi-vending machine, and if we come forward you'll see all the blue has now gone. It's now saying a whole new list of things that it requires. Luckily I've got actually some of those already. Not enough, but we've got some of each. I've got some bread as well. It will require more. As you can see, bottom right, we are delivering the products. So yeah, the following day it resets again, you go again, but you can't really use it as a sell point other than that. Next piece of information sharing then, which I have gleaned as I've been doing this testing. I did a bit of fiddling around. I skipped ahead time, so as I said just now when we were up at the multi-vending machine, we've skipped ahead to the following day. But this is what Richard was talking about, I think, with regard to the solar panels, because you can't really tell anything has changed here, but the timer for this, because I thought, oh yeah, because this will be empty now. No, the timer is running in real time, because that's still saying 10 minutes left. So when I sped up time, it doesn't speed up the timer. It's not based upon the time in game, it's based upon real time. It's setting a real world timer. So although I skipped ahead and we're now a full day ahead, hours and hours and hours have gone past, that is still showing that we've got, well, just over 10 minutes left to finish this. So that's something to bear in mind. I mean, the thing is, when you are unloading it and there's that time limit and you're trying to, you're moving the pallets around, that time will disappear really quickly. But I thought, you know what, it's okay, we'll leave that. I'll move on to the next bit of the video. But that's now got to chug away until that time elapses, and then that will automatically deliver them, and I can show you the next thing I was going to show you. So I've got myself my own forklift and a separate pallet, and what I was going to do is put one pallet on there, and we'll run it again to see if it will allow me to use my own forklift, because this forklift will only run at 10 miles an hour. The little Jungheinrich runs at 8. This one runs at 15, but it's a little bit bigger. But there's a lot of modded ones. So if there's a modded one that's quite narrow or small and runs faster, that might be advantageous. So we'll check that. So it looks like what Richard was saying is going to be correct, which means I can't test this, which is really frustrating. Now, I don't know if this is going to get an updated update. I don't know how people are going to respond, whether there's going to be feedback to this. I don't know. It's a weird one. Yeah. I will now have to wait until this time tomorrow in real life to be able to show you these solar panels dirty, to be able to use the robot and see if that robot just running along one section will clean all of them. And when I did the mod review, I said that's. I know I'm being a misery about it, but I thought the whole point was it was that kind of, not that I mean, I didn't know if maybe you could lift it up and move it, and I thought it'd be cool, you put it on, it runs along the full length however long you've made them. But I suppose that's really difficult to do, because if you have done, because they place like fences, if you'd placed them with angles or back on themselves, for it to run round that properly, I guess that's why it will only run on one section, because one section will remain flat before it will allow you to do a turn. I suppose that's why. I can see why like I say, I don't know. I suppose it's that expectation of what was going to happen. So what I'm going to do now is let this timer run out on this, and I will check the situation with the other forklift, and that's my additional testing done. Really, I'm trying to think what else I was going to test. I'm such a muppet. I'm standing here waiting for the timer to count down. Then I suddenly thought, hang on a minute. I wonder, can I stop the delivery? I can. Okay, so do you want to stop the delivery? This will sell the pallets at normal price. Yes. I think if you do the whole thing, you get a bonus. It doesn't really say what the bonus is. So there we go. So I've stopped it. It's sold the ones that were there. Has it taken another one? No, it hasn't. Brilliant stuff. So rather than waiting for the counter, the timer to run down, if you get partway through and think, actually, I don't want to do this anymore, you can just go over to there and you can stop it. That's not a problem at all. So let's reset this. Oh dear, that was mildly amusing. So let's put that on there. The good thing about this is, if you've got your own one, you can have it just kind of set up and ready to go, lined up if you want. It's up to you. Like I say, I'm just curious to see whether this will work. So, do I want to? Yes, please. It will give me 2 minutes. Counter's running. It has given me a forklift, but I've got my own, so it shouldn't make any difference at all. Oh, I don't know. Say that though. The other forklift gives you. I don't know. Again, it's why we're testing. Where's this one got to go? When you've only got one pallet to do, it seems a lot more intense. There we go, bottom right. So whilst it's not showing me in my help windows, I don't see any reason why it won't still take it. It won't take it if I crash into the barriers. It took it as sole product. The other forklift should have disappeared. Yeah, technically it did. It just doesn't do, because I suppose if you're using their forklift, it drops you out of the forklift because the forklift vanishes as soon as it finishes. So you can do, yeah. I mean that it works. You just don't get all the information panel and stuff, which looks kind of cool, really, isn't it? Well, there you go. It's tested. It does work. Just not as interesting using your own one, I suppose. There may be a sudden cut. I remembered another question that I have actually been asked. This was not one of the ones that I was necessarily thinking of myself, and this has happened while I was doing the recording. A person has reached out and asked me a question, and the question was this: what do you gain from doing this? Is it just the fact it's an internal game? Training, it immerses you a bit more in running this facility by unloading and having 2 minutes per pallet to do, or is there a gain from doing it to make it worthwhile? I'm going to do it with one pallet just to double check this. The person did ask to remain anonymous. I don't want to. I know some people will say, "Oh, you never give people shout-outs." I do give people shout-outs if they ask, or if someone's given me advice or help or hints, or I've asked a question. This person specifically said they don't want to, so that's absolutely fine. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this and sell it normally. $4,224, does that say? Eyesight, I should have put my glasses on. Right. So that's selling it normally. So if I do the forklift challenge, will it come out the same? It's the same pallet. Will I get the same amount? Will it be worth more? Do I get a bonus for doing it this way? Especially if I do it inside the time. If I do it outside the time, it just sells normal. Because it does say it will sell normally, as opposed to abnormally, I suppose. I don't know. So, got to make sure I get this done now then. Let's go. Straight up. Forklift. Turn it on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And if you're doing this on a much larger scale and you've got a lot going on, Pick that up, make sure it's not behind me, I've got to drop it off. Doesn't look like it. Let's head down through the stacks. Can't see anything here. There it is, down there. $4,299. I mean, it's a little bit, not mega money. You know, it'd be different if you'd sold it out here and then sold it in here. It was like $6,000. You think, okay, that's a bonus. It's this, well, you know, it's a little bit more. So it's just for the added. It is really the added immersion and using this facility, pulling lorries up, or if you're going to unload from trailers, you can back them right up in here if you want to. Drive them in, I guess. You can come right in the door if you wanted to. Oh no, I suppose it has to register, doesn't it? It has to be inside here. But if you've got something lower than these bits here, you can back up to here and do it. That would work, wouldn't it? Or some ramps, or, you know. Anyway, yeah, that was the other thing. So I've double checked it, and you do get a little bit more, not massively. So it just comes down to a personal preference at that point, really. It's quite a large, expensive sell point, but I just still think it's kind of cool. I do like it. So, carrying on. But there you go. That's it. Unfortunately, like I say, I'm not going to leave this sat here for 24 hours and come back to it, because I'm going to need this map if mods drop or anything like that. I need to do mod reviews and things. So, I suppose, you know what I might do? I might remove all this stuff, save it where it is. If mods drop, do my mod review around it. But then that means I can't post this video until tomorrow. Maybe we'll come back to it. We'll wrap around to it. If depends on when mods drop next, or you know, I do want to answer this question, so I'm curious, and I'm baffled if it is a full 24 hours. But then, judging by that timer, it wouldn't surprise me. So anyway, I hope this has been useful in some way, shape, or form. If it has, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you choose to do. Thanks for watching.